What's up, everyone? Scott from Chernobyl Studios, and bam, there it is. You heard the Invaders Amplification 850 Devil in a full mixed production just now. Sounds pretty badass. I really like this amp, and I'm going to give you the full rundown on it, my full thoughts, what I think about it. So obviously, Invaders Amplification sent the amp to me, customized it for me so that I could show you guys. So they have sent the amp for these videos. I do get to keep the amp, just telling you guys right up front. However, they have not seen any of this video whatsoever. Everything that I'm going to say is completely my opinion. So first things first, it's 50 watts. It's really loud. There is a switch on the back to make it 35 watts, if I remember correctly. There's also a depth switch knob on the back. I'll take a picture and I'll put it up here and show it to you guys. So I got the product information right here. Let's go ahead and run down the list. This is a 50 watt beast. However, on the back, there's a switch to turn it to 35 watts, if I'm correct on that. But it's 50 watt full tube. There's also a depth knob on the back. You can turn that left to right all the way. It's got 6L6s, 2 of them, and it has 12 AT7s, 2 channels, effects loop. It's about 30 pounds, 15 kilos. It's not that bad. It really doesn't feel that heavy because it's the weight seems to be distributed evenly. So it's not like you pick it up and it goes one way or the other. It feels pretty good in the hand. I mean, you don't want to carry it all over the place, but it's not that bad. And it's 53.5 by 24.5 by 24.5 centimeters. Basically width 21 inches, height 9 inches ish, depth 9 inches. So it's a pretty good sized head. Let's talk a bit more about what this thing sounds like. So off the top of my head, it's a more vintage, airy type of a sound. This is not a super low end compressed, high gain, super tight metal amp. It's a metal amp. Don't be mistaken. But if you want to get it really tight, you want to get the lows under control and stuff like that, you're gonna need an overdrive. But or a screamer of some description. But it's got tons of gain. It's fun to play. Has lots of booty. Oh my god, tons of it. We'll go over that in a second. It's pretty mid-focused as well, so it's going to be real great for more thrashy type tones. The treble is a bit harsh, it's very sensitive, and I might even call it a bit fizzy for my tastes. And with my unit here, the presence knob does absolutely nothing. This is the one thing that I did tell them up front, like, yeah, I don't hear any difference with the presence. But then they did say, yeah, it's no big deal. Whatever changes you want, you can send it to us and we'll modify it for you. And I'm like, no, that's cool. Because one of the things that I wanted to discuss was, hey, it's cool. We met at MIGS at Lake Geneva. That was fun. Let's get an amp so I can show it to everyone, but let's customize it. Let's, we got the product booklet here saying, hey, we can get all the different Tolexes, all the different blah, 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 blah. Well, let's show everyone. So as you can see, I got my logo here. I have my logo here. I got wine red Tolex. I have red LEDs for the tubes there. And it looks awesome. Like, this is great. I really like it. And the engraving here of the logo is pretty good quality. Even has the red eyes in there. And I was like, cool. And it was done quite quickly, actually, less than a month. So they must have units that are ready to be customized, or maybe they have stuff that's kind of like already halfway to go. Like, oh yeah, he wanted black corners with wine toll. Oh, we already have that, And then you can do the grill cloth. I picked a black metal grill, of course, because metal. But if I were to get a regular grill cloth, they've got tubing here that you could select the color of also. So there's a lot of different customization options, so definitely check the link. The price is very fair. I think if I was looking at this thing, it's hand-built in Belgium by Francois. With all the customizations, I think it would have been around 3,000 euro, if I can remember off the top of my head. That's pretty damn cool because I'm going to be able to send it back to Francois going, hey, make the, let's have the presence be a bit more obvious. Let's do this and this and this. So this will become an amp that how I want it to sound in my head, which is pretty damn cool. So enough of me blah, 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 blah. Let's see what this thing sounds like. And of course, we have to start with the clean channel. And I think I need to do the Henning chord, which is this. Yep, that's it. So it's pretty simple with the clean. I don't know if I would call this a actual clean channel because in this master section here we've got the volume, and then obviously we have the gain for the clean right here. I mean, obviously the more we turn this up, we're getting like a clean crunch, right? That's not exactly clean. We bring this back. That's a bit more clean. However, you start digging into the strings a little bit, you can still get some of that crunchiness. However, you bring it back to around right there and you put the volume about yay so, and you get basically get a clean channel. Let's check a different pickup. So that's clean, but are you really looking at Chernobyl Studios to learn about clean channel tones? No, you're not. So let's turn this down, and then we'll switch the channel. I like to always turn the volume down of the channel I'm not using, just in case. And that's what we get right now. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to load up various cabinet impulses from my Captor X, and we're going to run through the course a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the access and distance completely at 0%, okay? And we're only going to use a 57 styled microphone, so all of our comparisons are the same. So I'm going to start with an ENGL 412 XXL. We're going to go to a G12 greenback 4x12 Celestion. Then we're going to go to a Wrangle 4x12, and then finally we'll do the RECTO 4x12. So let's start with the ENGL. Now, the whole point of doing stuff like this when you have the amp, right, is because the amp head matters, of course. But as Cola has been saying, and Glenn has been saying it, and for some reason, all of a sudden, it's becoming important information. The speaker makes the sound, okay? So the speaker is ultimately going to be what 90% of the tone is. So if we're playing this and we don't like how it sounds with everything at noon, probably don't have the right speaker. So let's make sure we're all at noon here. Yeah, okay, great, all right, okay. And as we move along the tone stack here, I'll tell you what the differences are, okay? So here we are, we have an ENGL 412, this is the XXL, 57, 0% access, 0% distance. So already really bright sounding. I'm not sure if I would continue using this amp actually because it's already harsh for me. But you can hear now what I mean about the booty. Tons of it, yeah? All right, so that was the ENGL 412 XXL. Let's move on to the G12M 4x12. Now, I'm going to assume this is going to be really bright. It is bright. It's a bit more presency. It's a bit more soft in the high end. Not bad, but I think let's continue. So that was the G12. Let's look at the Randall NB412. Now, this is a sleeper cab. A lot of people don't even think to try this one. Right away, it's not nearly as harsh in the high end. this is already a candidate because the high end is a bit smoother. So I have room to push the treble up if I want to. All right. And mids and lows are pretty not flubby, I'll say. Still have a lot of bottom end. We'll still have to dig it out with the tone stack, but I'm liking how that sounds. Yeah, that's really cool. All right, let's finally do everyone and their mom's favorite cab ever in the world, the RECTO. See, it's got that high end. I don't know. I don't want to call it fizziness because someone's gonna get pissed. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think just for the sake of this, let's go ahead and be rebels and let's pick the Randall cab. So I'm going to go back here into my virtual cabinet selection and I'm just going to pick the Randall NB412. Oops. So now that we have decided, I'm kind of just giving you guys a tutorial on how to make a guitar tone right now. First thing we need to do is we need to change the access and the distance of the microphone. See what we can do. So let's listen to this. Let's see if we can get rid of some of the low-end flubbiness. All right, cool. So all I did in the software here was bring the distance 10% away from the cabinet. The axis is still at 0, and we're just going to use the 57. Let's keep this simple, all right? So let's go ahead and start looking at this. I'll talk about the presence knob last. But let's go ahead and start with treble. Nice, I like that. Now with mids here, we have a sweep button we can turn on or off. The sweep is just going to change which part of the mids are going to be accentuated. So if we turn this on versus off. So I don't like a lot of mids in my guitar tone, so with the sweep on, it's way more cardboard sounding for me. And so what we're going to do with the tone stack right now is we're going to move the mids out of it until, you know, we kind of get rid of the cardboardy boxiness sound. Sounding pretty good, but we have a ton of booty in there, so let's go ahead and get the bass out of here. By the way, all of these tone knobs seem to work with one another. So if I just nuke the bass, you can hear what happens. Obviously the tone becomes thinner, but also it becomes papery. Now, you probably did not expect that the bass was going to be on, what is it, like 3? But there's still lots of low end. All right, killer. Now, so why did I leave the presence knob for last? Because I think with my unit, it doesn't work. I mean, I don't hear any difference. So either the presence knob is very subtle or it's just not working on my unit, which, you know, it is what it is. But they are willing to change based on my feedback, the tone knob and how it reacts and how it works. So when this amp goes back to them anyway, I'll just ask them to, you know, make the presence work, I guess. But you know, I have to give them a little bit of leeway here. They're having a, you know, like everyone building stuff right now, trying to get parts. I think they probably had to source different parts and things like that. So things may not be working however they have expected to. But honestly, though, when I get the amp and the presence knob, you know, I hope presence should work. But we're going to chat about stuff like that. I will do an update about this amp after I've sent it to them and asked them to make some changes to the tone pots and see what happens. Now, the drive. Like, I don't know if you guys think we need more gain. We're already doing pretty well with gain, but we can increase it here. Now, the thing with this amp, the thing with this one, you know, being a bit more vintagey, is we add more gain. It doesn't necessarily mean that it becomes more brutal. Well, it just adds more saturation to the tone, which means that we aren't going to get the note definition. So if you're trying to do this gentle-rooski stuff, more gain in this amp is not going to help you. It's going to break up more, be more saturated, and you'll actually lose note definition. So we just want to add a little tiny bit more gain so that our palm mutes have feel a bit more just, you know, brutal, more destructive. There you go. So that was with the overdrive here. You can see it here, this green thing here. It's not even turned on. All right. So honestly, I really like this amp, and I'm really thinking about ways to utilize it with clients and with other amps, because let's say, for example, a client's like, hey, Scott, here are 4 guitar tracks. I want to have thick, big booty guitar tones. This is going to be my #1 thing right here. I'm going to run 2 tracks of it through this amp. It's going to have thick guitars, and I can use another amp to layer on top of the thickness that this amp will give me. So I'm very keen and I'm very excited to try this with other recording aspects and just experiment and try things. You will see and hear this amp a lot more on my channel. I think it's great. I'm particularly curious, you know, what it'll be like to add the low end of this amp with an amp that maybe is a bit more high end, as with presence and treble. Put it together with the valve state or put it together with the ENGL, see what happens. But I'm very impressed with this. I really enjoy it. And I love the name, Invaders Amplification. So this was all without the overdrive. Let's kick in the overdrive. See what happens. So with an overdrive, obviously the last 10% of the amp really comes to the forefront, and you can push it, you can make it sound way more modern sounding, or what you're looking for with the tight low end. And here we could probably even increase the bass a little bit. Yeah, so there you go. So it's got the potential. I mean, it's totally there. There's no reason why this cannot be a metal monster. Not everything has to be super tight, compressed, ultra, tight on the low end. I really like this amp. Now, I'm a bit disappointed. Obviously, the presence isn't working the way that I would hoped. It took me a while to get used to how the amp is voiced because I come from the high gain stuff. If you give me a detail, give me an ENGL, I'll be there in 2 seconds. I understand what to do here. The more vintagey styled amps, I was like, ooh, okay, how do I actually do this? It's really all about which IR you're using. So you get the IR right, this thing falls in place with no problem, and I really enjoy that. So this is the amp here. It's a bare bone, not a bare bones. It's a what you see, what you get amp. It's a great rock metal amp. They have another amp actually that's supposedly even more brutal than the Devil. It's called the 950 there, Bad A's. Good stuff. If you guys want to see a comparison between the Devil and the Bad A's, you need to leave some comments down below. They do read the comments, okay? This one supposedly is based on the Devil, but this has got EL30, the 950's got EL34s, and the low end is much more compressed with a bit more grit. So I'm curious what that would sound like. So if you guys want to see a comparison video between the 850 Devil and the 950 Bad A's, comment down below, let Invaders Amplification know that, hey, you want to see it, Scott needs to compare them, and let them know about it. I have to say, Francois the Builder and Fob, really 2 great dudes, really nice. It's really funny because they speak French, their English is okay. I speak 0 French, and I speak English also terribly. But really nice guys, always very communicative. It's really cool. They answer emails quickly. We have WhatsApp chat together every day. I tell them what I'm doing. They ask me how it's going. They're very, very responsive to messages, and that goes a long way with me. That's really cool. I wanted to really specifically point that out. So that's the end of the demo stage here. I think that let's go ahead and move into the demo song that I did there. Let's show you guys the mix. And I'll show you guys what I had to do because I did this demo song before I spent more time experimenting with the IRs. So I made the job harder for myself, and I'll show you why. So let's jump into Cubase, and I'll show you the mix. All right, here's the recording session. It's very simple, okay? We have some drums here from a new company that you'll see a video about this very soon. But they're called Hertz drums. I'll let you try to figure out where that might come from. So you guys just, Hertz drums, who could that possibly be? What kind of studio might have the word Hertz in it? So you go ahead and figure that out. Plus we just have bass. We have a bass from Submission Audio. I'm actually putting Ubansky bass to the test here. Gonna talk about that a little bit more. And then here are the 2 guitar tracks. So the cool thing about recording an amp is that, you just record it through the Torpedo Capture X, and then here it is. So it's not a DI file, right? So I just have the baked in tone right here, and excuse me, I just recorded the drums or the guitars. So what was I saying earlier about I messed up? Well, here's how I messed up. I picked an IR that was already pretty bright sounding because I wanted to make it work, right? I'm like, oh, I really like this speaker. Let's go for it. Well, I made the job harder on myself. So the result is fantastic, of course. But let me show you, I almost never do this kind of EQ anymore. This is the kind of EQ I always try to avoid, specifically because I'm like, and I've been saying in Guitar Tone Mastery and for years now, if your EQ looks like this, you picked the wrong IR. Well, here we are, eating my own words. You know, I can still make the same mistakes everybody else makes. I'm human, but this is a classic of me not wanting to accept that I had the wrong guitar tone, right? The wrong IR for what I was trying to do. However, through a little bit of studio magic, I've been able to make it work. But let me show you, what I had to do to make this tone work the way that I wanted it to work. So let's move over to here. Sounds awesome. So I was using the ENGL Sin, the new IR from Capture X. It's the ENGL Sin. It is with the Hesu Demons in it. And here's the problem with the Hesu Demons with this particular amp with the settings that I had. Ready? So all of that high-end just harshness and fizz was of my own creation because I didn't pick the right IR. So I wanted to show you this to you guys because it doesn't matter how long you do this. At some point in time, your ego is going to get in the way and you're going to be like, I can do it. It's going to be great. And this is what happens. So it's just a little bit of a learning experience, a little bit of a learning tool. And then, once I got the harshness out of the way, it's all the same stuff. It was just 400, digging out 400 here. Doing some more multiband on the high end and the low end, Soothe, and then L1. This is all classic stuff you guys have seen me do on the channel many times before. Nothing new there. I really just wanted to show what it looks like if you pick the wrong speaker to play from. You're going to have to do a lot more work in order to get the result that you were expecting. So that's it. So that is the Invaders Amplification. Where's my thingy? Here it is. The dudes are really awesome. There's a link down below, Invaders Amplification. Check out the catalog and have a look. Send them an email, okay? Have a chat. Send them an email and see what they might be able to do for you. They're really nice dudes. They're really open-minded. I know they will have, here's Francois, by the way. I know they will have no problem with what I said in the video. They appreciate honesty. And to be quite frank, I'm really looking forward to working with that amp a bit more, getting the tone pots customized, a little bit more to my liking for my ears. And if you guys want to see, because they have the bad A's in here, which is the 950 bad A's, which is supposedly the ultimate modern high gain amp with a more compressed tone and more grit. If you would like to see me shoot out the 850 Devil, which is the one I have, versus the 950 bad A's, please leave a comment below because they will watch the video and they will read the comments. So leave a comment below saying that you would like to see me look at both of the amps together and do a shootout comparison and come up with some tones and stuff like that. So leave a comment below if that's something that you would like to see me do. And in general, leave a comment below. Tell me what you thought about the amp. Do you like the vintage, styly, airy type of amps, or are you like more pegged into the modern high gain type stuff? But anyway, that is the review video. Big thank you to Invaders Amplification for sending me the amp, allowing me to keep it, and keeping a nice dialogue going. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how we can adjust the tone pots and what it can sound like in the future. So yeah, you're gonna see a lot more of that amp. And there it is, right there. How can I? Oh my God. Whatever. You see it back there. It looks awesome. All right, guys. So that is the end of the video, the end of the review. If you have any questions or anything like that, please leave them down below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.